How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Annually released video games create such a hype for me. Like 365 days I have to wait for Madden. I look forward to the yearly release of Madden more than my own birthday, for crying out loud. Like, you're telling me I had to wait 365 days for this thing? I can't just have it now? Oh, I already do. It's just a reskin of the game. I think we can kind of be honest with ourselves. Annually released video games like sports games and Call of Duty, that's kind of the only ones I can think of right now and the only ones I'm going to be covering, have kind of gone downhill and just lost their fun. Like, they're just not as good and well made of games anymore. Like, here's a clip from the trailer for the NBA 2K23 trailer. I switched it out with the NBA 2K21 trailer. You see, there's not really any difference here. I remember playing games like NBA Live 06 on my old GameCube that I actually still own, Madden 16 on my Xbox, and NBA Live 2K16, 17, 18, like all these fun games. But all of these games release annually, so you would think the fun would lose out of them. Not really though, like these games have been fun for a long time and they still hold true to a pretty solid formula when it comes to sports games and first-person shooters, obviously. But obviously some things aren't meant to happen every year. Can you imagine if we had the Black Plague every year?
They're making another one?
But have they actually lost their fun, or have we just grown old and we're not kids anymore? We don't want to play these. No, they just suck. Let's talk about sports games first. I'm a big fan of sports. You would think, obviously, being an avid sports fan of especially football and basketball, which is why I'm only talking about Madden and 2K. You would think I'd be big into these games, and I'm actually big into them. I'm a big fan of 2K and Madden. I think they're a lot of fun, kind of just like sometimes. Now, obviously, sports games do have a lot more to them than just like the single player mode. Like they have the Madden Ultimate Team, they have My Team, they have My Career. 2K's got a lot of options, and so does Madden. And with all these options, why would you still be playing Quick Play in 2022? Like, are you seriously playing Quick Play by yourself right now, dude? And I think the main thing contributing to this thing just becoming stale now is because we've kind of reached the pinnacle of sports video games. I don't really think we can go much higher. All you can do now is just add new modes, new rosters, new things like this. I mean, there's not much you can do to update the game except add more sweat to the graphics every year. And I know everyone freaks out every year. They're like, no, this one's different. Did you see how much sweat they added to Michael Jordan's bald head? But in reality, it's kind of the same game because I look at these old sports games, man. Like, these are fun. I used to play Madden 03 on the GameCube or something like that, Madden 03, NBA Live 06. These are some fun sports games when I was a kid, but then I was always like, yeah, but I want to play the new games, like I want to play some new games, and I would go over and play some new games, and they're fun. I don't think these games at heart are necessarily bad. There's just not a lot more they can do, and obviously you can't stop releasing annually. Like, what are you gonna do, just skip 2023?
I freaking hate those numbers.
What would people ever do without having the roster updates and having 4 first-round draft picks traded for Rudy Gobert? Like, you're seriously telling me I gotta wait a year to play with Rudy Gobert on the Timberwolves? Yeah, actually I'm kind of fine with that. Even branching out from other sports games, I feel like NHL and UFC, I haven't played them a lot. And games like FIFA too, obviously all these games release yearly. I just feel like there's not as much of like a drive to go out and buy the new UFC game. Well, I do have a lot of fun with NHL and UFC when I do play them. I don't currently own them, but you're kind of just like $60 down the drain. 2 weeks later, they're on Xbox Game Pass. Like, what am I doing with my life right now? A lot of the games just don't feel the same anymore. And I'm not exactly putting this all on 2K and Madden's fault, except I am kind of putting it on all their fault because they do have a lot of things wrong with their game that they could be fixing, but they're not. They're adding a new shot meter instead of making the game fun again. Hey, I do have to hand it to 2K my part though. They did add the Black Lives Matter stuff in. It's very important. Hey, I mean, even Warzone did it. Every company back then was just trying not to get canceled. I for the longest time, I owned 2K18 and just played with roster updates because who cares what the graphics look like? The game is the same thing every year. Apparently, games like F1 Racing have actually employed the strategy of taking 2 years off to make a new game, and it was actually a lot better from all the reviews. I just don't understand why 2K and Madden can't do this, but it seems like since they have such big fan bases, they're afraid to take a year off. Activision did it though. Call of Duty is definitely one of the highest selling franchises of all time, and they also release games annually. And I was very excited to hear that they were finally giving themselves a break and hopefully releasing one of the best games that they ever have with Modern Warfare 2. I'm very excited for this game, by the way. I think Call of Duty has kind of suffered from the same things as these games, just a yearly release kind of makes your game grow stale. However, I think in the same way that sports games have different modes they can do, Call of Duty almost has more things they can do with their game when they release releases annually, but they don't. A lot of people think games like Modern Warfare, Cold War, Vanguard all kind of feel relatively the same. Obviously they employ pretty much the same modes, but they do have different modes, guns, and maps, things like this. That's what I think makes Call of Duty more different than sports games. But you look at a game like Vanguard and you can't just think it's just mindless Call of Duty fun and nothing more than that. It's not very special of a game. I think Vanguard's release is what really put people off to the idea of, yeah, maybe Call of Duty's just going like down the drain right now. But I genuinely look at games like Cold War and they actually kind of switched it up and did things a little bit different after seeing how well Modern Warfare 2019 sold, and they were like, yeah, let's do Cold War. Pretty different game. Everything's pretty much different from Modern Warfare. It's a much slower paced, more tactical game for the most part. It may not be the game that got people into Call of Duty like 2019 Modern Warfare was, but it's sure a good game. I still have fun on this, and to think that Modern Warfare 2 is going to be out for 2 years only makes me more excited for it, that they're going to be adding big updates to the game mid-seasons, a year in. Like, this game has so much potential to be really good. Like, what's there not to love about Call of Duty's formula? It's just running, shooting, and yelling racial slurs.
Wow, dude, you little
So in general, I think these games do provide a lot of entertainment. Like, every single year these comes out, I'm never gonna say, no, I'm not playing the new Call of Duty. Like, I think that's kind of a retarded statement. And there's always those high up there elitists that are always like, I'm not playing the new Call of Duty. And I think that's kind of dumb. I think Call of Duty's always fun no matter what. It's just a matter of will it be fun in a few months. And when it comes to sports games, just fix the shot meter and make it good for once. I thought we couldn't really get any more generic than when Call of Duty Cold War hit some of its lower points. We could, trust me. But I think all in all, these games don't follow a bad flow and everything. It's not a bad format. They just need to make their games better, take a year off, do something to make these games a little bit more improved. In general, I think they've kind of just been on the decline.
So to everyone out there who's freaking out about the new Madden that just dropped yesterday on TikTok and Instagram and all over stories and social media,